While Cass is declaring her love for Ian, there could be more love brewing back on the ship. Come back to find out how.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's happening, shipmates? What's good?
How's it going?
Doing great.
Just chilling. I am your Jupiter journeyman, Joshua Wright, and I am joined by this wonderful, eclectic cast here with me today. To my left, I have yours truly, the crop circle conspirator, Dina Kalafala.
Eclectic is a really cool word to describe us.
I think it goes with
I
you.
really like that word.
And to her left, I have the one and only astral avatar, Miss Hallie Johnson.
What's up, everyone?
Yes. And everybody knows him as the real Jack Farmer, but here at AfterBuzz, we call him the sci-fi savant. What's up?
Hey man, the difference between me and someone else is that I make this look good, and I make it look good in the chat. So if you're watching the show live, go ahead and join us in the chat. I did want to bring up something very special that was sent my way from all of our guests and people watching. Friend of the show, Hallie Wiseman, actually sent in a really interesting theory on last week's episode that we all missed, and it was that as Niko was going through these dreams and everything, it wasn't just her coming to grips with what she did, but it was realizing that if she did save Hudson, she never would have had Jana. And that's what she was going through.
Wow,
so I wanted to share that, and I wanted all the other viewers to know that if you hit us up in the chat and the comments and things like that, I would love to hear your theories and the things that we may have missed. So I thought that was really fascinating. Shout out Hallie Wiseman, friend of the show.
All right.
Really deep.
That's what's up, Jack.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, that sounds like a hot topic later on to discuss, so keep that in mind. But we have so much to talk about. Cass has finally made it clear that she and Ian were lovers, not only lovers, but were planning to spend their lives together. And we have to talk about what happens when Miss Dubois drops her wrath on Harper and Eric. Thank you. And then, last but not least, we are going to discuss the love that could be brewing back on the ship. Or is it just a physical attraction? Before we get there, though, I do want to come to Hallie today to find out what your thoughts were first.
Which part?
The overall thoughts. Just the overall
thoughts. This entire episode was a roller coaster for me.
Okay.
There were so many things that were just so confusing. Like, how did the fire get started in the ship again? And where did Sasha go? And what happened to him when he came back?
That's right.
Like, and why was there a tree growing out of his foot? I don't understand.
Yes.
I was a little bit lost, but I guess that's kind of ironic.
So was it a good loss or a bad loss?
I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna wait until next episode and maybe it'll make sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dina, I want to come to you. What were your thoughts on the show?
Well, I was gonna say, I love how Zane had a solution to like the tree growing in the lake thing. That was no big deal, but the spinal cord coming out of your body was like, that was not normal. The tree growing in his leg was normal.
Okay.
Huh.
All right.
Okay, well, I was just going to say that it was a solid episode, and Sasha deserved to be sucked into the alien artifact.
Oh.
He was arrogant and annoying,
Okay.
and I think he deserved that.
The guy was doing his job.
No, he wasn't. He didn't
Team
listen
Dina.
to his orders.
I'm Team Dina.
Okay, well,
right
He
now.
didn't listen to Nico's orders.
Well, go ahead, Jack. You chime in on your overall thoughts based off that.
My overall thoughts was, like everyone in the episode, I loved this episode. There was love all around, it seemed like, in this episode.
Love.
The one thing that definitely stood out to me is, again, William missed some very important things, saying there was no life on the planet. So that's another episode where William has missed a very important thing that almost cost everyone their life.
That's true. What
Okay.
is going on with William?
Well, we'll discuss that in a minute. Let's see
William
here.
conspiracy going on here.
I think it is. You know, I think William, well, for me, I'll say the episode itself, the episode was enlightening. It was finally good to see Cass come out and make her proclamation of how her feelings were. I guess they were shifted once Ian died, how she felt differently about Niko being the leader. So I do like that part. Let's go ahead and talk about that, though. I do want to talk about how Cass finally, abruptly, seemed as if it was festering. And she just comes right out. I was in love with him. I was going to spend my life with him. Dina, what did you feel about that?
I think it makes sense that Cass was very hesitant about sharing that information because that's considered unprofessional, it seemed like.
Right. Taboo.
Yeah, it's taboo. She probably didn't know that Niko had a former lover that was also in the same crew. She probably didn't understand that history there, and so she didn't feel comfortable talking about it. So I think she's totally valid to keep that from Niko.
Okay. So what about you, Hallie?
To be honest, I thought they were both gonna come out. And when I say come out, I mean like come out the closet. They got super cozy, being super high with those super flowers. And I was thinking to myself, it seems like everyone is kind of getting it on in this episode, and maybe they would too. And they didn't. And I said, oh, okay, they're just talking about their feelings. But then it got super deep. They both really went in on each other, like you're a psychopath, just to let you know. Well, you're weak, just to let you know. And I thought a fight was gonna get started, but they have like the ideal friendship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under the influence of purple pink flowers.
I think in general they do, but the fact that they were under the influence of these purple pink flowers and it just kind of accentuated. Stop making faces.
Well, he's not yet.
You over here making faces at me.
He's gonna go after
You
you,
need to
Hallie.
tell your facial expressions to be quiet and use their indoor voices, okay?
All right, go ahead, Jack.
I think that this was one of those things. One, I'm really hoping we see more fireworks from Cass and Niko. I felt like that was kind of a letdown. I wanted there to be more of an explosion when that information finally came out, and I think there still will be. I think what we saw with the flowers was very much like when you go out with your friends drinking and maybe you drink too much and maybe you say things you probably shouldn't have said. Yeah. And there was definitely an awkward moment when they were getting back on the ship. And I think just because they were friendly with the flowers and everything around, I think they're going to wake up tomorrow with some hard feelings.
Okay.
What did I just say?
I can't really relate to going out drinking with friends because I don't drink.
I don't really drink.
I don't drink either.
I live in a sober mindset, so I'm one of those people. Anything I say was intentional, and there's no apology afterwards, you know. But for this situation, it seems like they were both in a state of euphoria because they were willing to be honest with each other. I would liken it to being drunk because it does bring out the real emotions. The awkwardness that you were speaking of that you felt back at the ship was the fact that just because we were in a state of euphoria doesn't mean that we don't remember what each other said about each other. And so that's when it comes in where they're like, okay, how do we move forward knowing that I think you're weak and I think you're a psychopath? How do we move forward and we can collectively run this ship together?
I think Niko's kind of lost it, to be honest. Like, first she came in all super tyrant, and now she's trying to make friends with everyone. Like, she's an equal, but she isn't. She's supposed to be the one leading them. Her leadership is all over the place. I'm honestly starting to lose hope in that, and it's really frustrating because I was really hoping she'd find a balance and step it up, but now it seemed like her and Cass, she's too close to everyone now in a really inappropriate way, and nobody respects her or listens to her. At least before, they listened to her out of fear. Now they're just like, oh, whatever, you're nothing.
Well, let's do this. Let's fast forward to when Niko apologized. And she made her confession to Cass saying, you're not the only person in these shoes. I've been there. I was in love with James Hudson. And she made it clear before she met Eric. Right. And she said that he died. I had to let him go for whatever the reason was. And so Cass now understands. To me, there's some empathy there from Cass to Niko saying, oh, you've been here before. How do you think that's going to impact their relationship with Niko, with Cass knowing that Niko's been there?
It's still pretty different.
Okay.
Yeah.
She pushed the button to let the love of her life go. Niko did.
Well, she killed them both. So
Niko killed both of them. So
maybe she is a psychopath that collects fingernails.
Okay, go ahead, Jack.
No, I mean I get where Niko is going with it, but I think it's very different when Niko is the one that makes the decision that ends a relationship for herself versus making the decision that ends a relationship for Cass.
Okay.
Again, I don't think we've seen the end of this as this quarrel. I think that this is maybe going to slow down the inevitable conflict for now, but I can't imagine that Cass is just going to go, no, it's cool. I'm good with it.
Okay.
I don't either. She killed her man.
Yeah, she did. She murdered a man. But before we move forward, I want to let Hallie address our wonderful viewers today.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, everyone out there who's tuning in, listening to us, and watching us right now. Thank you so much for making us the TV talk, or ESPN of TV talk. And you know what? Go ahead and subscribe, like, give us a good rating. If you're listening to us on iTunes, it's because of you that we're able to keep growing and growing.
That's right. Hallie, you're on it. You're on it. I mean, you got the print on, you got your hair coiffed. You're like, look here, y'all, check me out. I am the one today.
You're so sweet.
So, yeah, it's spot on. That's why I say we're eclectic. I love it. All of us are different, and it brings togetherness. I really like it. But I think we have more chemistry than they do on Another Life.
Oh.
Yes.
I think we
True.
So,
Ouch, it burns.
well, I'm just saying, you know, since we are discussing chemistry, I would like to talk about the chemistry between JR and Bernie. Did anybody peep the chemistry that was going on
I
there?
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was really
That
shocked
came
by
out
that.
of nowhere
Yeah.
for me. I was like, okay, cool.
Go ahead, Dina. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I don't really have anything else to say other than it was surprising.
It was, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all, especially because I think Bernie let the love of his life go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get closure on that relationship.
That's true.
So here he is.
But here and now, someone's in front of you. I mean, Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a surprise, and I thought it was kind of a fun surprise because everyone was pairing up. I feel like poor JR on the show last week, not being able to spill the beans, knowing this was coming up. Friend of the show, if you haven't seen that episode, definitely go back on YouTube and check it out, where we interview JR here. But it was a fun surprise. I didn't see it coming. Some of the other ones, like the love triangle that I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit, you could see kind of coming, where this was like what's this all about? And I liked it.
Well, I think, go ahead. You want to go ahead, Dina?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think people are coupling up because it's like a biological thing. It's a survival of the fittest thing.
Okay, so you think it has like a real world environment type?
Yeah.
Okay, or
so.
What was the show Survivor? Okay, well let me say it this way. I think Dr. Zane and Bernie. I didn't see Bernie teaming up with Dr. Zane in a way where it would become there would be some affection there.
Teaming up, is that what we call it now?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's what it's called in space.
Well, because at this point, or at this juncture, I would say that Bernie and Dr. Zane have not had any type of charisma with each other, and so not charisma, chemistry. Forgive me, chemistry with each other, where I would think they're going to have a relationship.
Or with anyone else.
Right, they've both been, autonomous.
Own, yeah.
They've been autonomous.
It felt really random, and at the same time, I was like, it's like a whole 4 minutes of rubbing fruit or flowers on.
But couldn't that have been Bernie's way of introducing the fact that, hey, I want to get a little closer to you,
Bernie's
Doc?
smooth. That was a smooth little move. Oh yeah, we're just collecting food. We're gonna try this. It's
Okay.
That was his.
I love the fact that JR just like threw it up. I was like, yeah, that's how I was feeling the whole time watching this. Can you guys just get it over with?
Okay, all right.
Like Sasha and Michelle, they had the right idea. It's like, oh, you want me? Yeah, I want you. All right, let's go do the thing. I'm like, can you guys just go do the thing now?
Okay, so then let me ask you this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That was just too much.
Okay, so it was too much suspense for you, I guess you could
Just
say.
eat your fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. Or, I mean, well, I won't say that. But anyway, so how about I want to move to Javi, Oliver, and August. So we see them working together, and we can definitely see the emotions and the tension of emotions because in the area they were working in. They're cleaning the floors, and Oliver was very defensive because he knew Javi was after the girl that he liked. So I want to go to Jack first since he brought it up. What did you think about that triangle?
I think that August really understands the principle of supply and demand on this ship.
All right, that's a good PG way to say it.
So why choose if you don't have to?
That's true, but does that put Oliver and Javi in a compromising position?
Absolutely, but that's not August's problem.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Hallie.
Jack predicted this, by the way, last week. He was
Yeah.
like, there's going to be a love triangle between these three.
Yeah.
The thing is I expected a love triangle of like drama, but it turned into a threesome. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we're progressive in space. I'm sorry, I can't even get my words
I mean,
out
you
right.
may not make it
Along
back
with you.
home.
Yeah, and you know what? There's no chance of any unwanted pregnancies either because everyone's sterile.
That's
Might
right.
as well just take advantage.
All right, Hallie.
I was really surprised that August was like, no, I want both of you.
Really?
And I went, okay, girl.
You didn't see that coming?
No, I didn't. I thought maybe it would be done behind closed doors, like she'd be with one or the other.
So
then it would start like some sort of fight. But she was like, "No, I'm gonna air it all in the open.
No
I want
need to
both
manipulate.
Of you. Yeah, at the same time, right now." And I went,
Good job.
That did catch me off guard, though. Yeah, when
That
she's like,
part.
"No, wait," I was like,
Oliver's blood was probably boiling at that point. I just,
It was.
When
I don't
she
think the
kissed
camera.
Javi?
Huh?
When she kissed Javi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember if the camera panned to him or not.
It did. They were standing there. So she kissed Javi, and Oliver was standing there staring at her like.
Did you just do that? Yeah.
What, like, what's good? You know, like, what's popping? You know?
I think August was too busy studying in college to become this space whiz.
Right.
So now she's having a house party moment and making out
Exactly.
with two different guys within the same half hour. She's
It's-
reliving her college experiences that she missed.
That's a
Yeah.
perfect. That's a
She was
great
geeking
analogy.
out.
Yeah.
You
She
know, you're
was-
supposed to take those college days to, you know, do what you got to do. So
Yeah.
then when you leave college, you don't have to do what you got to do.
But it was delayed for her. 'Cause
Right,
She
so-
has goals.
late
That's all
bloomer.
right. Okay, there's nothing wrong with
Late
that.
bloomer.
All right, well, let's move back onto the main plots. I do want to address Dubois. So we see Eric and Harper and the other scientists are all walking out there, looking at some of the research that was concluded by Marcus, I believe. Marcus was the guy who concluded all this research.
Right.
So now they walk into this area and Dubois is standing there with her arms folded. You know, she has this stern look on her face, you know, like
She always has a stern look on
she
her
does.
face.
She keeps a stoic look, but she was very aggressive in how she
Yeah.
approached them, and she dropped her wrath. How did y'all feel about Harper and Eric's responses to Dubois?
I would love to say something.
Go ahead, Hallie.
I think that they played it really cool.
Okay.
I thought that Harper was gonna sell Eric out, but instead she was like, "I don't reveal my sources."
Okay.
And I went, "What? You have morals?
Yeah.
You're not that bad." I
Are
went,
those
"Okay."
journalistic standards?
Right, or maybe it was some sort of care, like a genuine care she had for him too. I couldn't tell.
But don't forget about the 9 years. He said you've been torturing me 9 years.
Right.
I don't think she cares about him.
Or
I
she's
don't-
just waiting for a better opportunity to sell him out for more information from Dubois.
Maybe I can't read her, and honestly, this far in the season, I'm upset that we don't have any backstory. The only thing we know is she wasn't born in America. I'm like, okay, why is that relevant? Why does that matter? But they made that a big deal for a while, and I said, maybe that's going to be important. But I was bothered that Dubois was just making threats at everyone. You're going to get fired. I'm going to deport you, and I'm going to get rid of you. I was like, can
Okay.
you just stop?
I loved.
Of course you did.
No,
you,
it was because it
you love when anyone is just remotely evil or wrong.
But it adds a lot of like risk now to Eric. Before Eric was like, if he figured it out, cool. If he didn't,
No big deal.
no big deal. Maybe he loses his job, but that's not the end of the world. But now as a viewer, I'm thinking you better figure this
he's
out.
forced to figure it out.
This is now very serious for him, and now Harper has leverage against him as well because. If he needs something, he needs to
That is
figure this
true.
out.
Eric,
Where now,
yeah.
so now she can say, "Hey, I can help you. If you don't help me, then I'm going to leave you to go to jail." Or, there's just lots of consequences now he has to worry about. Where before it was a job.
Okay, go ahead, Dina.
I was just gonna say Harper didn't sell him out yet because she wants more juice. She
Okay.
wants more tea.
Okay.
So if she reveals her sources right now, she can't get any more.
Doesn't gain anything.
Yeah, she doesn't
Right.
gain anything. And then I was also gonna say I feel like General Dubois has every right to be frustrated because that's confidential information.
I mean,
just putting it out for the world to see.
yeah.
But I'm annoyed with her in general. Like, she just goes around barking at everyone. I'm like, what is even your contribution to any of this?
Right.
You just show up getting angry, and then you just basically saying, oh, yes, I did this. She just takes credit for everything, and then she disappears. I'm like,
That's
She
how I
definitely
feel
needs
about
to do
Dubois.
some yoga or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I feel like Dubois is
Maybe not enough.
she's uptight. She's uptight, and I understand her position is a very big position. Like, you cannot be lenient in those types of positions. But the other thing is, you're right, she doesn't have a major contribution here. Eric has been working tirelessly with his team. He's even outsourced some of the work to a team he feels is a little more adept at finding information.
AKA
and,
leaked.
Yeah, leaked, and she's still finding fault. And I'm like, well, if you have an answer, please share it. If you don't, sit back and let me do my job. Go ahead, Jack.
She started the show actually fairly nice when she fired him. Funny enough, when she fired him, she was actually very nice about it. She's like, hey, no hard feelings. If you come up with anything, please let me know. Leaking what I would assume is a military secret is a pretty big deal,
Yes,
especially with
treason.
no
Yeah, I definitely agree with that
results.
for the first time ever.
So I'm kind of on her side. Like, that's a big, especially someone like Harper, who clearly is not the most reliable person to be giving information to.
So let me
begin
ask you
with.
this, Jack. Are you a man of the law? No matter what happens, stick to the law. No matter what.
I want to hear this.
For the sake,
yes or
for the
no?
sake of this video, I always follow the law, no matter what.
Okay, well, the fact that you prefaced it by saying for the sake of the video, so that means that you don't.
He's broken the law before.
No, I get where Eric's coming from. But
Okay.
I'm saying from Dubois' standpoint, if you let that slide, someone else is going to do it, and how long can you do that before serious things start to get leaked out?
But I think she did let it slide, because making idle threats is not a consequence. When I was a kid, just a quick story, I'm going to use brevity here. When I was a kid, my dad was military, he's a bishop, my mom was an educator. When my dad said he was going to spank us, it was not an idle threat. You better believe that I got that spanking, and it made me better. When my mom said she would spank us, we were like, man, we're going to get some shoes tomorrow, but mom ain't going to do nothing. And she didn't. She didn't spank us. So to me, I'm looking at this as a situation where Dubois is giving an idle threat, but then she's giving him the permission to move forward and figure out what's going on. So that, to me, that tells me it's not a big deal to you either.
I mean, I think she knows that there could be results from it.
Okay.
So she's letting it go for now. I think maybe Eric has a little bit of leeway, maybe from the past few years of working together with Dubois, but I believe this is foreshadowing to Harper doing something that gets him in a lot of trouble, which I'm excited to see as a viewer.
I don't
Okay, go
trust
ahead,
Harper
Dina.
at all.
Okay.
I don't trust her at all, and
Why not?
it's just her vibe.
Man, I trust Harper so much.
Really?
Yes.
No, you're joking.
I'm dead serious.
Well, after all, she has been the most consistent character on this show.
She's consistent. She's forthright.
Yeah.
She only speaks to things that are didactic to what
She
she's
bears
asking
all,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, so,
I'm not on Team Harper.
no, I'm not on her team.
Neither am I, but I agree with him. That
I
she's
like her,
just-
but she's gonna throw everyone under the bus.
I don't think so.
That's
Yeah.
what makes her consistent, though, because you know she's gonna do it. Everyone else, like, you can't really. They've become predictably unpredictable. Even Eric, like, he used to be all high morality and all that, but now he's like leaking information.
I don't think Harper is throwing everybody under the bus. That's not how
She
I feel.
will, though.
I don't think so. I think that Harper is the person where she's getting information from those people who are important and non-important, and the ones who are important, she's going to continue to keep their identity safe. That's what I think. So, like, the people she worked with at the bar, they all going to jail. I can tell you that right now. All of them are going to jail, okay? But why would she allow someone with the power that Eric has, who's that close to Dubois, go to jail? That's her source. That means she has no other source inside that space station anymore. So I don't see her letting someone like Eric go to jail. I just don't see it happening.
Well, she has to have some other source because she knew something went wrong with the Salvari before Eric was giving her information.
Yeah, but that source is probably not that important because she's not seeking that source out.
I always say, or I always believe, a con man doesn't take the first opportunity to throw someone under the bus. You have to gain the trust, right? So a con man's got to lose a few times, and then when the other person completely trusts the con man, that's when they pull the move, and I think that's what we're gonna see.
That's
Okay.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Tina,
since
you've agreed with Jack like twice so
Yeah.
far. How does that feel? Like, do you feel
Feels
like a little
really
your
weird
soul
and they
is
don't
just-
like it.
Jack, I
how
told
I
you we were going to
felt.
work on that, sir.
We were gonna, yes.
All right, well, let's move on. I want to talk about Sasha. So we see that Sasha was abruptly disrespectful to Niko. Just blatant disrespect. I'm not going to listen to you. You're not the person in charge of me. If you don't like it, take it up with AKA Daddy. So how did you feel about Sasha's arrogance towards Niko and then his disappearance?
I was glad he got kidnapped. I was hoping he would stay gone after that because I was like, what are you, 5?
Okay, go ahead, Dina.
Well, it's just weird because he was complaining earlier, I think it was to Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was complaining to Michelle, like, sorry that I'm just like some spoiled kid or whatever, and I'm just here on board with you guys, and he doesn't know anything or whatnot. And then he just used that as his excuse to do whatever he wants.
Right. He did, so he flipped it. Okay, that's a fair point. Jack?
Isn't that what a politician does, though? He's supposed to be the youngest congressman ever, or one of them.
Yeah.
But that is what a politician would do. You would play to whoever your audience is, and then once you have the chance to do something big, you do what's good for you.
I mean, hopefully politicians stop doing that soon.
Hopefully.
I don't like this, guys. When I first started watching the cast, like I had high hopes, but now everyone is falling apart and out for themselves. I'm like, what happened to teamwork?
But do you think the teamwork is going to come full circle?
I don't know, because like I said, everyone's become inconsistent. They're either killing each other, hooking up with each other, undermining each other, yelling at each other.
Let me ask you
I
this
think
way.
we all knew that people were going to hook up with each other. Everyone on that ship is hot.
Come on, okay, so let me ask you the question this way. Do you think they see a need to have each other around? For example, I see a need to have Dina with me here. I see a need for Hallie. I see a need for Jack.
We can't switch seats,
You
or
understand?
else it'll mess up the...
Don't mess with the flow.
We're needed.
But I'm saying you are needed. So
needed, guys.
do you think they see a need for each other on the ship?
No.
So then would that be an explanation as to why you think that they are going against each other, having so many issues?
Yeah, I mean, they treat each other like they're all expendable, and maybe it's... you know what? I think the other crew should just take over. Put everyone to sleep. Back in the Soma, you guys. You're
Even
in punishment.
Niko?
Yeah, all of them.
So who's going to lead?
Who's gonna...
Ian?
Ian's ghost, actually.
That's probably a good idea. Well,
Hashtag
William is
justice
gone
for
now.
Ian.
Come on, Savant. Who's going to lead us?
William
But
needs to stop.
I think it is a fantastic question, a fantastic point that none of them feel like they need each other, and with all those Soma tubes, they kind of don't. If you think about it, if you're stuck in a group, if we had a whole room full of people who were waiting for the opportunity to replace each other, and one of us didn't get along, it'd be very easy for us to be like, well, let's just get rid of one of the other hosts and bring in one of the new people.
Okay.
And I think a lot of them have that mindset. I mean, whether it's the right mindset in that situation or not, I don't know.
So perhaps they're not aware of how much they need each other. That's how I see it. I see it that they are not cognizant of the fact that Michelle needs to be here for a reason. As much as y'all say y'all don't like her personality, the fact that her personality is so strong is probably why all of you haven't done certain things. It's one of those things where you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
I'm starting to like Michelle more and more.
Well, she's softened up since she's been approached by Sasha. I say it that way.
Since she's been getting laid.
I think that Michelle is becoming this good person, and we're starting to like her because she's gonna die soon.
Oh, so you think Michelle's out of here? I think you did predict that a little while ago.
I predicted that a while ago. I think she's gonna be a very likable character right before she dies.
Yo, I'd be really afraid of you if you got to play God. Like, you're gonna die today.
No. I would be very nice. Everyone would live until they're 200.
Aw, good God. Good God.
I can't imagine the housing market. We wouldn't have anywhere to stay. All these people living until 200. You couldn't get them out of their houses. You know? But, okay, well, those are all good points. Overall, I felt the show was really good. It was a mind of its own. And I think, to me, that title relates to the euphoria that Cass and Niko experienced under the tree. The Javi, August, and Oliver situation where they had a triangle, which I really don't see that becoming a problem soon, perhaps later. And also, like the fact that JR and Bernie began to have some type of chemistry. I want to see where that leads to. So now that we have covered this wonderful show, I do want to go to our pal to my left, the crop circle conspirator, Dina, so she can give us some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Another Life actress, Selma Blair, says her recent chemotherapy MS treatment is affecting her vision and ability to focus. Quote, panic sets in. Will this be permanent? How do I get to one more doctor appointment? How will I work and write when I can't see and it's so painful? She writes in the caption. Selma also says it's now difficult to be on her phone, so she's not on social media or texting friends very much. Selma is keeping it real and honest, but she's also finding reasons to smile and have fun. She compared her shaved head to Miami rapper Pitbull in another Instagram post.
Oh, okay. All right, then. Well, I'm still glad that Selma is so comfortable sharing with her journey with people. You never know who's out there going through the same thing. So it's very important for people to see the transparency in public figures. So that's something that we should celebrate. Now, we have a new special segment tonight that's introduced by our astral avatar. And I'll let her tell you all about playing space games.
I'm so excited. In honor of our cast and crew of the ship, I decided I wanted to light things up and just play space games. All right, y'all. So here how it works.
All right.
I gathered a couple of keywords and phrases and things that happen throughout the show, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe it to you like charades, and you're going to try and guess it.
Okay.
And whoever wins gets to take over.
All right.
Yes, and we're going to start out with... All right, so this was a famous dancer and singer entertainer. He was famous for doing a specific dance. What's that dance called?
Michael Jackson, the moonwalk?
Moonwalk!
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And can you tell us how that ties into the show?
Yes,
this
because they were
episode?
on the moon.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I hear you, Holly.
Okay, this is fun.
Okay.
And this is the one you are going to do.
Oh, okay. All right. So this character we know because this character is from space and it has an abnormally long finger.
E.T.
All right. And how does that relate to the episode?
Because they're in space.
Go deeper, Dina.
I really have no idea.
Because Zane cured the thing in Bernie's leg, right? With
Because
the
we
finger?
finally got to see ETs, the creatures.
Oh, yes.
Finally.
Okay. Good job.
Time out in space.
This is a really embarrassing confession, but I don't think I've ever watched that movie.
Oh, Lord.
I know some of the references.
Okay. Well, look, let's finish playing and then we can get on you later.
This is what I'm...
Oh, I can't look at it.
You can't look. Did
Wow.
you see it?
Did you see it?
No, if it's what I thought, I won't answer. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't really know how to explain this. I think was there a dodgeball scene or something? And he was dodging everything in slow-mo. I'm covering the word, don't worry. It is moving in slow motion and dodging things.
Moving in slow motion and dodging.
I think.
I wrote this down and I can't even guess what you're talking about.
All right,
I
reveal
really-
the answer.
The Matrix?
The Matrix.
Is that...
Oh,
Okay.
the bullets.
For that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, the bullets in the
The bullet time.
Yeah.
No, the dodgeballs. Those
When he
bullets.
was-
Can you guys figure out why
I think
I
people-
chose The Matrix?
The Matrix. Jack, your
'Cause-
turn.
Did somebody shoot
because there was
someone?
two Sashas and there was multiple Agent Smiths.
Oh, that's actually a good thought.
This is
that
another
right?
movie I haven't watched.
Oh.
That wasn't why. The reason why I chose The Matrix is because there was a moment between William and Michelle, and Michelle was like, "You're not even real. You don't even belong here." And William said, "How do you know you even belong here? How do you know you're not a program?"
yeah.
And that's what The Matrix is all
That
about.
is what it was
That-
about. That's
yeah.
awesome.
That was a cool little
didn't
exchange,
watch it.
by the way. That was a great.
Okay, go again, Hallie.
All right.
Let's do one more. Let's do
The
one
last
I need to
one.
watch more
Jack,
movies.
all you.
more. All right, Jack. It's the
okay.
last one. Let's
I
get
was
it.
supposed to get one right, but I didn't as the sci-fi savant. Oh, so this is.
You looked.
I can't play.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
So this is a geometric shape famous for a Caribbean location, and
Oh, it's the something triangle, Bermuda
Bermuda.
Triangle.
yeah, and then the theme of the episode, kind of the overall theme,
The triangles of love and.
love triangle.
Oh, okay.
You can't
love.
tell.
Yeah. I said triangles of love.
I don't want to be like, but if you rearrange those words, no.
Okay.
Love triangle.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I'll
All
let you.
right.
I'll let you
All right.
have it for now.
All right. Well,
Okay.
look at that, y'all.
Is that
Hallie.
it? We don't get to play anymore.
No, we gotta
I'm so
move on. We
sorry.
gotta move on. But Hallie has come up with this wonderful game called Space Game. So
That's fun.
for all of our viewers out there, make sure you're paying attention to the episodes because you can give your answers in the chat, and we'll be able to chat you back to let you know if you got it correct, or you can see us here at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
So now it is time to move into our predictions.
And now,
great.
your AfterBuzz TV.
All right, go ahead, Jack. We want to do predictions quickly, and then I want to come back to the topic you brought up at the top of the show.
I think that William is going to continue to miss things, and I think that it's going to lead furthermore to a divide between the crew, and splitting them up into two different crews.
Okay.
You guys think William's bugged
By the government?
by an international government?
Well,
I don't know. Is that your prediction?
Sure.
Okay.
One of them. We'll just continue going in this line.
Okay, go
And
ahead,
I'll see
Hallie.
if I have anything else to add.
I think everyone's gonna find out about the whole Cass Niko situation,
Okay.
and it's gonna blow things up further. That's my only prediction thus far.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I don't think that Cass and Niko are going to get along like they used to. It's probably going to be very awkward around them. And then I think August is going to pick Oliver over Javier.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, my prediction, which ties into the topic, which is why I want to do it afterwards. My prediction is that is that Niko has to make her confession to the ship with her relationship with James. And that ties into the fact that it will come out that she's married to Eric and she would not have had Jana. And so this situation might have been differently had she not been with James Hudson. So I want to move to that topic, saying how do you think that affected how the show is moving forward? Niko not being with James but being with Eric instead.
You know what? That actually was something that stood out to me. When she was talking to Cass and talking about her former lover, it was like, oh, he's the love of my life. And then she was like, wait a minute, I'm married. Oh yeah, then Eric came along. It was like an
Right.
afterthought, and I went, oh.
Some affection there.
Something is up there. I don't think Nico's really as in love with Eric. I think maybe she just used him for a baby.
I don't think she was. I thought that was pretty obvious, like throughout the entire show.
Yeah,
It's just
but now
convenient.
you know
She talks to him like a little brother whenever they do
Yeah,
talk.
that is
Okay.
But what if we're doing predictions, what if we find out that the only reason Niko was given the job in charge of the Solvari is because of Eric's connection to Dubois, and that's kind of how that relationship started?
That could be it too.
Because then that would drive an even further wedge into the relationship of the crew.
Okay, let's say Niko does reveal this former love.
James.
Yeah. Is that gonna are the crew members gonna justify their romances and be like, oh, it's no big deal? Or are they gonna like reveal it or?
That is exactly what we have to wait and see. I was waiting.
But that's why I'm asking about your prediction. For
Yeah.
that.
So that is part of my prediction that it's going to cause some strife on the ship, because being with a crew member, and especially the commander, we already know is against policy, it's illegal, whatever the situations are. So now that you have crew members who are all on the same levels hooking up, you have to find a way for them to not justify that behavior, even though you were in love with your former commander.
That's what I'm saying. She's a mess. Like, Niko, she needs to be put back in the Soma.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you can see, we are swamped with predictions, where we're going to go next, what's going to happen with Niko and Cass. Is Cass going to seek vengeance on everyone? But now you can go ahead and follow us on AfterBuzz TV, on Twitter, and on Instagram. You can also look us up on YouTube. Jack, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. I have been relighting up my Twitter account, so if you want to interact that way, that's a great way to go ahead and check me out. Again, at Real Jack Farmer, and let me know what you think.
Holly.
You guys can find me at Pure Hallie, PureHalle, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the things.
And I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Dina Kalafala, which is spelled DenaKhalaf, F as in Frank, ALLAH. That's it.
All right. And I am your Jupiter journeyman, Joshua Wright. You can find me all things social media at Cleverly Clad. We are so glad you were here with us tonight, and we'll see you later on.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only, do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.